Good afternoon, or salut from Paris, where IAFOR is holding a conference on education in arts and humanities as part of our European series. Next to me is standing Professor Ljiljana Marković from the ECPD.
That's great.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this chance. ECPD is aspiring to become an even greater partner of IAFOR because we believe in the same goals, we share the same aims, and we are very proud of this cooperation with IAFOR.
On this note, could you briefly explain what the ECPD is and what your role in that is?
Well, the ECPD stands for the European Center for Peace and Development of the University for Peace, established by United Nations. The aim of ECPD and the whole University for Peace, established by United Nations, is to promote the so-called peace studies, which have, over the past 41 years, become a very significant body of knowledge and also of teaching. We are teaching peace studies from different aspects and at different levels, at master's studies, specialist studies, doctoral studies, and postdoctoral studies, because we believe that this cognition of the significance for peace, attainment of peace, and development is very, very important, but has been neglected as a corpus. There were individual subjects, there were individual aspects addressed by different study programs, but nowhere is peace and development envisaged as a paradigm and presented as such from the whole corpus of social sciences. So we have basic economics as macro and microeconomics, giving the fundament of this course at each level. Then we have political sciences, security sciences, we have sociology, we have political sciences. We have different angles from which we view the peace studies, and of course we have the best experts in the world teaching them, because this is an interdisciplinary field by its nature. And as Professor Haldane often stresses, like IAFOR, this is also intercultural, this is also multidisciplinary, and this is also international in its nature. So we have an international professorial corps, and we have international student body. And we are even teaching online in those cases where students cannot attend in person. So the significance is really to enlighten the meaning of peace studies and to show that actually peace is only possible through development in a sustainable way, and that development is not possible without peace.
Peace and development are usually discussed, or stakeholders that have an influence on peace and development are usually discussed within political institutions.
Yes.
Now, in your case, we have a political institution such as the UN introducing an academic institution talking about peace and development. Why is this important?
This is very important because not everything can be achieved through politics. And the United Nations have felt a need 43 years ago to establish a university dedicated to peace studies, the University for Peace, because it was clear even then, when the world was somewhat more peaceful than it is now, that there should be this academic branch, this academic hand, which is going to ensure research and teaching in the field of peace studies, because they are so interdisciplinary and because they are so delicately connected within different areas of social studies. They're not something that can be resolved at the General Assembly's speaking point or Security Council, etc. That they have to be worked on over a long run and in an interdisciplinary manner with the educational, this didactic side, and also the research side. So the generations of government officials, diplomats, bank officials, large company functionaries become aware of the reasons why peace is much better. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but it is not unless it is proven, and we have proved it by these study courses and our research projects. We have proved that this is a much better option for humanity than war and war economy and stimulation of economy through demand for such goods that do not bring peace. That is a short-run effect, but this is a long-run effect. If we get more educated people understanding the mechanisms of economics and understanding that by creating a long-run demand for goods like education, healthcare, social structures, schools, kindergartens, universities, then we are stimulating the economy in the long run way, and we are working for win-win solutions. And then, of course, we have a very strong emphasis on management, which derives from microeconomics, where everything is clear and where efficiency is accentuated. Because if we want to have peace, we have to be, first of all, at peace with ourselves and to be efficient, to know how to work, to know how to organize society and life, and each organization, including the universities. So this is the rationale behind United Nations as a political organization in founding universities. It first of all established a university, United Nations University in Tokyo, also a postgraduate school. Then the University for Peace in Costa Rica, in San Jose, which has a beautiful campus, very, very fine syllabi, just like our own. Then this ECPD, the European Center for Peace and Development in the so-called Helsinki, Europe, because this happened in 1983 after the Helsinki Peace Conference, and all the countries of Europe, then North Africa, Maghreb, North America, and some other stakeholders in the Near East. In fact, everything until the Great Wall of China was pronounced to be the area of special concern of ECPD. This is why because this is all unstable area, potentially conflict area. The Near East because of the oil, Balkans because of their difficult ethnic composition, North African countries because of different spheres of influence in a mostly multi-religious population, but also multi-ethnical and with conflicting interests. So wherever there are conflicts of interest, religion, or ethnicity, peace studies are of paramount importance, because people have to be brainwashed, persuaded to understand that peace is much better than any kind of war, that war can never be substitute for peace. You know, we are hoping by educating generations that some good fruit will come of this. Of course, we are not magicians. This takes time. But I would not like to bore you with all the details, but the study programs are very interesting and very challenging, and students love them.
On that note, and as a final question, you touched upon areas of conflict.
Yes.
We are currently experiencing increased conflict within the world. Now, some may argue that institutions such as the ECPD are not the first ones. As you may know, the forerunner of the UNESCO used to be the International Committee of Intellectual Cooperation, like Albert Einstein was a member in Marie Curie. Unfortunately, that institution did not survive World War II.
I know.
What are the dangers to academic institutions today?
Well, the dangers are as great as ever, but the reason why this commission did not survive was that it had an even more limited outreach among the intellectuals than we do. Of course, our outreach is limited to postgraduate students, and this is what we are aware of. And this is why we would like to do in the future to develop some courses and some work events like roundtables or general conferences aimed at a wider audience with IAFOR, because IAFOR can reach an incredibly wide, worldwide audience of intellectuals, teachers, people working in the field of education as such, and that is important. I mean, if we don't want to end up like Marie Curie and Einstein's commission, we have to go out of our present scope, and we are trying to do that. We are also organizing some conferences, and we hope to organize more conferences in cooperation with IAFOR. But the outreach should be broadened in order to not only to survive as an idea and as an ideal, but also to have impact, to have this beneficial influence on the society. One has to go out into the society through education processes. It's not easy and it's not quick, but that's the only sure way, because there is no substitute for the way in which education works. It works like slow water, but it is sure.
Thank you so much. It was very insightful.